It was great for our team going into conference. I was on a slump, and my coaches helped me out, get out that slump. Uh, Put in a lot of work in the gym, and shout out to my teammates for looking for me, and I was able to knock down shots today. So being in the gym, late nights, I knew I've been in a slump. My shot felt weird going into the couple last games, and just being in the gym, coaches helped me out, and confidence, got that confidence to knock down shots today. So, oh yeah. We go through everything. Like if we see them run 2-3s on one play during the last game or something, we'll go through it, run our little plays. Coach Hawk has a great job of setting up plays before to be prepared because most teams play their zones different and most spots be open. So shout out to Coach Hawk, preparing us for that. So yeah, he put us in a great position to be open, and everybody was knocking down shots today. I don't know. I was just letting it go. It was falling for me. Confidence, like I said, late nights. Getting them shots up. Like I knew I was in my slump, and my teammates encouraged me to keep shooting, and that's what I did today, and it was falling for me. Getting our bigs involved in the game, that's really involved me to get my assists I had today. Drake doing great post position for me to feed the ball, and he went straight up into his shots. Brandon, he's knocking down shots, he's getting back into it, and yeah, that's really it. It was real big, especially for it being the last game of 2017. It's one game we needed for our team to gather. Know that we came off a win, and everybody's looking at us like, yeah, Western is looking to win the MAC this year, so that gains us a little confidence and being ready to play Akron.
Yeah, I mean, it was a game that I thought, we really needed to play a game like this right before conference play. We were coming off of a really good win at Milwaukee in a hard-fought contest. And these games, when you come back after a break, they're always nerve-wracking, and you worry about guys being out of sync a little bit. They've been away from the game and all of that. But we came out, I thought we looked sharp. And especially on the offensive end of the floor. Defensively, we've been pretty solid all year long. And, for the most part. But offensively, we haven't always been in sync for whatever reason. And 2 or 3 guys play well, maybe one doesn't. We got 4 guys in the right place, and then one guy's not. And it's just been putting the band together to make the orchestra right now. And I thought today we took a large step in that direction. A lot of people got involved offensively. Thought we shared it real well. And obviously Josh had a big night. The ball found him a lot when he was open, and he stepped up, shot the ball with a lot of confidence. So overall, we got sloppy in the second half defensively. I don't like that. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good effort. Yeah, we knew. We knew there was going to be a zone. They play zone. They play man. They mix up their zones 1-3-1. Sometimes they go. Sometimes they go with a full court trap. There and we tell our guys, especially early in the game, if you get trapped, you don't like what you have. Instead of turning the ball over, don't. We have a timeout. We have a use it or lose it timeout in the first half. I don't care when it is. If you get trapped and you don't like what you have, you don't feel like you can get your way out of it, just call the timeout. And we got the ball back in bounds, and instead of turning the ball over. Yeah, the ball's in Thomas' hands a lot, and so point guards are going to have turnovers, and I think coming into the game, I don't remember exactly what Josh's assist to turnover ratio is, but that it has to improve. The 4 assists to 5 turnovers, I'd rather have there be 3 assists to 1 turnover. 2 assists to 1 turnover. The 5 turnovers, and some of those are what we call turnovers for touchdowns, where we turn it over and they get a fast break going the other direction. So yeah, there's that can definitely improve, and sometimes it's different things. Sometimes it's decisions. I'm passing the ball when I think somebody's open and they're not. Other times it's not being tough with the ball. You go up for it or the ball gets stripped. There's different way traveling. That's a turnover as well. So there's a lot of different ways you can turn the ball over, and we as a team and Josh as an individual in this game, we've got to look at all those, get better at it. But as a team, to have 9 turnovers in a game, that's good, especially against a team that, when per your question, you're looking at having to call a timeout early, facing a trap, and then Josh's 5 turnovers. If you want to look at the bad, yeah, there's a little bit of that, but we shot 46%. We went 14 to 32, had 14 threes, out rebounded them 50 to 34. We had held them to about 41% as well. So overall, again, it wasn't too bad. The area that I was probably most displeased with, other than that sloppy spot there in the second half, was our free throws tonight. We were out of sync at the free throw line. Got to spend some time on that next couple of days getting ready for conference play. It's what they give us. Is what they give us. As a matter of fact, there were a couple of those threes I did not like us taking. A couple of them went in. And I still didn't like us taking them. I felt like we were falling in love with the three a little bit too much there, and it jumped up and bit us when we missed some. I think we took like 4 straight 3-point shot attempts in there. Bryce took a quick one. Reggie took one. We took some quick stuff instead of getting the ball. We want the ball to hit the high post, want the ball to hit the paint, in the low post, and I thought we did a much better job of that in the second half. Overall, it has not been a bad non-conference. Last year I think we won 4 games in our non-conference portion of the schedule. We won 8 this time. There's always going to be some games that I look back on and think we should have won. But again, we've always scheduled in a way to help us get ready for conference play. And not necessarily just the beginning of it, but for the long haul. Last year we lost our first 2 conference games. We lost quite a few games early on in conference play, but later on we really caught our stride. And so 18 games is a long time. That's almost 2/3 of your season here when you include tournaments and things like that. So I think given this, if you had told me before the season, and given the scenario that we were given, where Seth went out, he was effective in his first game at South Carolina, and then that was about it. He struggled the next 3 games in Myrtle Beach. We came back and found out he had the stress fracture and has been out since. So the starting 5 is out. Drake has done a terrific job. There's not much difference between those 2 guys, but the depth is. And so Drake is now starting, and then Brandon becomes his backup. And Brandon goes down with a bad ankle injury against Northwood. So Brandon played really up until the Christmas break, played with probably about 80%. Himself. So we have our starting 5 out. We have our backup 5 out, who happens to be our starting 4. And Drake's out there with his tongue wagging, a lot of the game. So I given that situation, the guys have battled. So I'm pretty happy, and we've gotten better and better. I think it's kept our offense from being in sync, and I feel like the biggest issues we've had have been offensively, So. If we get that part of things taken care of, I think we'll be fine. And tonight, like I said, was a good step. Conference play, I'll tell you same thing I told our guys, and that was that, this is as deep as I can remember the MAC being, and that's really saying something because we've always been a deep league. We're not just deep, but we're good. The whole league is. When you have one team now, it wasn't until just the other night, but we have one team that is below 500, and that's the team that went to the NCAA tournament last year out of our league, Kent State. And they still have quite a bit back. So it's a good basketball team. Their record's a little more indicative of who they've played than how good they are. And we were picked to win it all. Okay, so as we go into this, I said, I'm sure last night Akron got done playing their ball game, and in their locker room, there was a version of all right, fellas, conference play starting, and you get a chance to play the team that is picked to win it all, at their place, and we're going to get When we go to Miami, we're going to get the same thing, the next game, and we're probably going to get everybody's best shot, and so we have to be, Coach Wooden always preached no highs, no lows. We have to get ourselves to a very high business-like state of mind and then maintain it. I would prefer that if somebody were watching us on film, if we were up 20 or down 20, I would want them to not be able to tell the difference. And because of our demeanor and the way we're going to approach the next possession. So that's kind of where we're at. We're excited about conference play, and there's an extra notch of intensity, that's for sure. And we'll feel it. Our young guys are our freshmen are getting ready to have a lot of fun with that. And I think that our guys that are back are anxious to get it started. We have the next couple of days, he was allowed to shoot around today for the first time. And so he was out on it a little bit today. And then the next couple of days, he'll test it a little bit more. And we'll see where he's at come Tuesday. If he can go on Tuesday some, if not, can he go on Saturday? We'll just have to test it, see what he can take. Okay, thanks. Fight on.